So I built this high quality fish finder mount and it only cost me about $100. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build one of these, and all you need is a few hours and some basic tools. Finally, I'm going to show you why this mount is better than anything that you can buy in a store. Welcome back to another episode of Fish O'Clock. I'm John Botaraya, and today's episode I'm going to teach you guys how to make your own high quality fish finder mount just like this one. But first, you're going to need some tools and materials. For materials, you're going to need 3 to 4 feet of 1x2, 1/8 inch square aluminum tubing. You can source this locally for about 20 to 40 bucks. You're also going to need some hardware. Now, I used M8 75mm stainless steel bolts, as well as M8 nylon locking nuts, and M8 washers, about 24mm outside diameter. Bear in mind, you can also use standard size screws. If that's your choice, just make sure they're stainless steel. And for the base, we're going to use a 2-inch aluminum post flange. This was about 16 bucks on Amazon. Then you're going to need about 12 inches or so of aluminum sheet metal, 1/8 inch thickness. Now, I had some lying around in the garage, so I just used that. And on Amazon, it's about 17 bucks. So again, if you're able to find this locally, you could probably save a bit of money. So for this, you're going to need some basic tools. So I used a drill and some drill bits. However, if you do have a drill press, that's even better. You'll need something to cut the metal with, like an angle grinder or an orbital jigsaw. You could even use a handsaw if you wanted. You'll also need some PPE, like, eye protection, gloves, all that regular stuff that you use to keep yourself safe. And you probably need some wrenches, maybe a ratchet set, just to tighten down those bolts. And I did use a 3D printer for this, but it's actually not even necessary. And I'll show you guys why later. So now let's get into the steps. Step 1 is to cut the aluminum tower pieces. You're going to cut 2 pieces the same height. So for the height, I'd probably go anywhere from 18 to 23 inches. I chose 21 inches personally, but it probably wouldn't go over 23 inches. Step 2, you're going to cut the mounting bracket for the flange. I recommend 5x5 or 6x6. You'll also need to drill the holes for the mounting bracket using the flange as a guide. Step 3, assemble your tower by sliding both aluminum pieces together into the flange. Okay, now here's where I think most people would probably mess up, so listen carefully. If there is any gap between the aluminum pieces and the flange, you're going to need to cut shims to prevent any sway in the tower. So in my case, I actually had a feeler gauge around which I was able to determine that there was approximately 3 millimeters of play between the aluminum bracket and the flange. So I ended up cutting some pieces of aluminum using an aluminum can and kind of wedging them between the aluminum poles and the flange. And that ended up working out pretty well. Step 4, attach our flange to the mounting tower. We're going to mark and drill 4 holes through the flange and the tower. Try to keep the bolts equally spaced. Mark them so they don't coincide. And here's where a drill press would really come into hand. I didn't actually have one, so I ended up just using a drill, and it worked okay. But as you can see in the final results, my drilling wasn't super straight, so yeah, drill press, definitely helpful. And now we're going to push the bolts through the tower and secure the nylon backing nuts with the washers. Step 5 is where we're going to attach our cradle to our mounting pole. So I have actually 3D printed something to go between the pole and the tower itself. Although this is not necessary, it was just a personal preference of mine. Okay, so if you do not have a 3D printer, to work around this, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is cut about, 6 to 8 inches of your aluminum square tubing. And what you'll do is you will basically mount this piece lengthwise across just like this with 2 bolts in, top and bottom like this. It'll look similar to the back of these you'll have 2 bolts that go all the way through, and that's how you know that'll be enough to keep it nice and stable. So then after you've mounted those 2, you'll take your cradle and you will just basically drill your cradle right into this aluminum piece right here. And that'll be where you attach your fish finder. I won't be doing that to this today. I don't have a reason to do it, but if you guys really want, I can do another video on that. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so now that we have completely assembled our mounting pole, we're gonna mark where the drilling holes are gonna be on our boat. So this is a Lund, and it's kind of like a John boat. There's these bench seats right here. We're gonna be drilling right through the wood, and there's gonna be 4 bolts that are gonna go through here. And the backside will look exactly like this when you're done. You should have your 6x6 mounting bracket, then a washer, then a nut, in exactly that order. And here's the final result. It's pretty sturdy, but don't take my word for it. Let's go ahead and test it out. Now for the real world test. I chose a rough day out on the lake to really stress test this and make sure that this mounting solution is permanent and that it is not going to cause me to lose my expensive fish finders. And after about 4 or 5 hours out, I was very pleasantly surprised with just how stable this mounting solution really is. There was essentially no movement at all on the screen. And with the screen being at eye level, it was very easy to see. So overall, I was very happy with the results. Do you think this is really better than anything that you can buy in the store? Throw your comments below. Okay, I have a reason why I think this is better than anything that you can buy in a big box store like Bass Pro Shops. But first, I went and did a little bit of reconnaissance, did some research, looked at all the mounting solutions that Bass Pro Shops sells. Now what I found was most of those mounts were pretty expensive. I think the cheapest one was over $100, and it was kind of sad because the materials that they used were not great. We're talking much thinner aluminum. The hardware itself was much smaller bolts, smaller screws. They weren't even using things like nylon nuts on the back. And so it made me think, hey, maybe these mounting products are designed for low cost production and planned obsolescence rather than, hey, I'm gonna sell you something and it's gonna last for a long time. But I don't know, I've never actually bought one of those. What do you guys think? If you own one of these mounts, or if one of these has failed on you, let me know in the comments below if these are actually good or if you guys think that this is just trash. All right. Well, that about concludes my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've included all of my links to the materials that I've used. It's going to be in the video description. I'm also going to do a full write-up, which I'm going to be posting on my Facebook page. So please go to my Facebook page and start following me so that you can get these materials as I publish them. And thanks again so much. I will see you guys on the next one.